Christmas, graduations, having a baby, getting married. We all have those huge moments in our life that we share our photos, that we share them for ourselves, our kids, our grandkids, on down the generations. But what about some of the smaller moments? They're huge memories to us all. We have one. Today I'm going to share a memory of what happened when my husband heard the national anthem and how our grandkids responded to it. Don't leave after the video though. I'm going to tell the story, show my scrapbook process, but at the end I'm going to show you other ways to share this exact same memory other than scrapbooking, because not everybody's a scrapbook. It wasn't planned, rehearsed, but oh my, the memory that was made that day is one of my favorites. So when we had 5 of our grandbabies, and I think 3 of them were like 4, and then we had like a 6 and an 8-year-old over for the day. And they were in the front yard. It's a nice summer day. And they were playing in the water, had water balloon fights. Grandpa even took them for wheelbarrow rides. And it's not just a wheelbarrow. He's sitting here singing, kids for sale, cheap, take them all, yeah, take them all. You know, he's having so much fun with them. As a matter of fact, my oldest grandson is 10. And when we had Camp Crazy this summer, he was wanting Grandpa to go and give them more wheelbarrow rides. But we have to get a new wheelbarrow because that one's old and he needs to be replaced. So it's on the list. It's on my list. Anyway, so they had water balloon fights and they were playing water. And we didn't have a pool or anything at the time. We had this big red bucket they filled up and they all stood in it and put their feet in it. But let me get to the memory. We went into the backyard and my husband's a piddler. So he's playing with the grandbabies and he piddles and cleans and does stuff. You know, he's that kind of person. He's just always doing something. And if he ever sits still, I don't know what I would think he's sick. But anyway, we were in the backyard and the band, the high school band, which is just maybe a half a mile down the road, was playing, practicing. I don't remember if there was a game or something going on or something, but all of a sudden, my husband hears the national anthem. He stops and drops everything and stands at attention. That is such an amazing thing, seeing somebody do that. But oh my, let me tell you what happened when we first got married and we were on the Marine Corps base in North Carolina, and I'm walking with him and I didn't know anything about all this. Next thing I know is like 6, I think it's 6, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. All of a sudden it started playing. And I think they called it Reverie or something. I don't remember. I have to ask them. But anyway, literally everybody stopped, dropped everything they had, and started saluting and stood there for a little bit. And I'm like, I had no idea what I was supposed to do at the time. He didn't say anything. I just thought, are we under attack? What's going on? What am I supposed to be doing? But it was amazing to see, but it was shocking to see everybody just stop and drop and start saluting. And in that backyard that day, it kind of reminded me of that because my husband stopped, dropped whatever he was doing, and stood at attention. And when he did, 5 grandbabies, 5 of them, looking at Grandpa, not knowing what's going on, stopped and stood at attention. It was, I don't think I almost cried. If I didn't, I should have, because it was such an amazing thing. It was so cool to see them. Let me show you a couple of pictures. You know, it's this is my husband standing at attention. Ooh, where's he at? There he is. That's him standing at attention in the backyard. And then this is my oldest grandson. And the pictures are not the best, but out of the words of my youngest grandson, a bad picture is better than no picture. And then this is him, my youngest grandson, Kenneth. And then here's the 2 girls, Lorelai and Lilith, in the background saluting. And that has become a memory I will never forget. it's just one of those that just sticks with you. It's an amazing thing. They had no idea why Grandpa was saluting. They had, not sure why. But then afterwards, he sat down on the swing and he just sat there and just started talking to him and telling him why it's important, that kind of thing. And it's really something when you see kids, they're not being lectured, they're not being forced, but they're watching what you're doing. And then they mock you. And then you see them do things like this later on. And it's amazing to see the influence that you can have. But the point of me telling you this story is that, we all do birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, school pictures, football games, graduation. We all do all those scrapbook pages. But let's not forget the little moments. And you know what? Even if you don't have a picture, you can still write that down. Write it down and just put it in an album with your rest of your... I'm going to get an album and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Things like when my youngest son would say, "You don't see me yet, okay, Mommy?" And when we played hide and seek, or my daughter, she was a talker when she was little. And I'm like, you know what you should do? You should go play with your brothers and go check on them. And she's like, "Okay, Mommy." So she'd run off. She wouldn't even get out of the kitchen door. And she's back in there. "Oh, Mommy, I forgot to tell you. Here we go again." She was just a big talker. And, these moments and these things like this that you remember, or like my my oldest son, even as an adult, he came up and him and his dad was talking, and I came up and I was like, what are you guys talking about?" And he goes, "AB." And I'm like, "What?" "It's an AB conversation. You can see your way out of it." I just died laughing. I'm like, oh my God. So it's things like this, things that they say, things that they do, that you don't always get a picture for, but you want to remember. And he wasn't being disrespectful. He's a funny man. He's a funny little guy. And I say funny little guy. He's 42 now. So these memories like this, I can sit and recall so many of them. And those are the kinds of things you do not want to forget. And it's not the kind of thing that if you don't write it down, they're not going to know. They're not going to know the silly names they used to call or silly games they used to play, or, like there's one that I have to do that my husband always plays with my grandkids. And it's funny because they actually wrote out a plan of how to get Grandpa. So that's something coming up. But for the next one that's coming up, you guys, is my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, Miss Audrey. This is her. Look at that picture. Isn't that amazing, cute little picture? But this child has got herself into some mayhem, some messes, and boy, I tell you, there is some stories behind this little girl and all of these pictures that I had coming up on this page that I'm about to work on, because I'm telling you, it even includes nail polish. Gonna be a good one. You guys don't miss this story. Write down your little memories, guys. If you don't have a picture, then don't worry about it. If you're a scrapbooker, great. Don't just scrapbook the big moments. It's the little moments they won't remember that you want to be sure to pass on. Okay, hope you enjoyed that story. And as promised, I have more ways to share the memory. This is one other way that you can do it. This is one that I just finished. This is in an 8.5 by 11, and it's 4 by 6 photo slots. And you can find these on Amazon. I'm sure you pick them up at Walmart, different ones. I have a lot of different ones, and I'll be showing them as the time goes by. But all I did different than just put the photo in there. So here's one here that I did the first one, and I just put a sticker on there. The sticker you can find anywhere. You can find it at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, a lot of different things, and it could be anything. And you don't even have to put stickers on there if you don't want to. This is just along the side of this is a journaling, and I just told the story. about how he stopped and saluted and told the story afterwards. Just a short story of what happened. And then my grandson, David. And the reason I put him on top is because he's looking that direction. If you have a picture and it's facing away, like for instance, I have this out. If I had this pointed, like say, off the page, like this, it's going to draw your eye away from the pictures. So by having this this away and having him look toward his grandpa, it shows, you know, it brings your attention back over to this original picture here. And at the bottom, I had the other grandbabies as they were saluting. The other thing that I did is I did write their names, the date, put a couple of stickers down there. I'll have some pictures of this as well. That it'll be a little bit easier to see, but this way I'm able to explain some stuff to you. So you basically just want to write down the simple part of the story, the date, the people that are in the thing, and then just, you know, 8.5 by 11 notebook, like a school notebook. It does not have to be in a photo album. And just write them down. If you don't have pictures, it's just as easy to do just this part and then write who the name is. You could even choose a picture of somebody that doesn't, like for instance, I do a school pictures. Sometimes the parents don't buy all the school pictures. The kids don't like them. They don't like them. They didn't turn out right. So I choose a picture for that school of that child during that year, even if it wasn't at school. That way we at least know what they looked like. So you could do something like that. Write your stories. Even the small ones are just as important as the big ones. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Help an old grandma out. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.